The scope of fashion designing in Pakistan, careers and scope. Many people ask this question, and we teachers sometimes have to answer it in very different ways. Sometimes it depends on the teacher. Sometimes they're discouraging, they lose the students. At times they're very encouraging and they win students. At times, while the fashion design class is in progress, the students several times ask teachers, so what is our scope? What is the scope of our profession? Where are we going to go after getting our degrees, our diplomas, or certifications, or awards even? So the question comes up, is fashion designing considered a good career in Pakistan? A big question. The truth is, if you are a passionate fashion designer, scope is great. It's very financially rewarding. And let me say that most of the private jets owned by any business in the world, amongst them are fashion designers who own these private jets. Bugatti Veyrons. Why have I brought up cars in this, or aircraft in this? Well, in the modern world today, these are the symbols of our success. But now we're coming to fashion designing. If we go into the history of where did fashion design start and what is fashion design, we just attribute it only to clothes and some dresses designs and maybe shoes, and that's all. I myself am actually a designer and a product designer. Besides that, I have art, sculpture and design as my field. Let's go to abstract art or whatever we are talking about, from where most of the fashion design takes its origin. If you check it on the internet, we find it's a phenomenon that started only about in the 1900s, which is quite disappointing and discouraging. A bit of research, when I took up a bit of research, I found out it's not that early. It goes a bit far back. It goes into the Aegean art or the Cycladic art in Greece about 4,000 years ago. And then we find its history going even far back, and the Neanderthals, the Denisovians, and even the Homo naledi. These were creatures or human beings or some form of human beings that didn't even share our genetic structure. The genetic structure was not the same as us human beings. But the only thing that we can find out, 40,000 years ago, these people, all these human forms became extinct, after which the modern man came. Neanderthals and the Homo naledi and the Denisovians are all quite similar, and they married amongst each other. They can be seen right from Spain to Vladivostok, in between even this Asian region. Fossils have been discovered of the Neanderthals in areas like Montserrat and those areas. These form of human beings, when we found their fossils, we found with them some kind of shells. They were also fossilized, but they were very close on their body, which we could see that they were probably wearing them when they died. Besides that, some abstract sculpture forms have been found of certain kinds of animals, certain kinds of items, which you could see that they were probably boats, and even up to vehicles which appear to be with sort of a form like a wheel with a hole in it. So it means that the wheel was invented. This case, we can see that far back, the Neanderthals or the Homo naledi or the Denisovians, I'll refer to them as the Neanderthals as all. It'll cover everything. 2 million years ago, 1 million years ago, and 40,000 years ago, these existed. They had, besides that, some stones had been found, and even in the area of Yorkshire, an 11,000-year-old stone, or it was a piece of slate, sedimentary rock. And within it was found a hole and some markings on it. When it was checked up against the fossil which it lay, it was definitely someone who was wearing it at that time. And when they checked it, because you can't find out unless there is some carbon dating something which emits carbon, with which they can find out that this thing, how old is it? It's a carbon-14 dating method. This put jewelry making to 11,000 years, and the Neanderthals took it to even up to 1 million years and maybe plus ahead of that. Neanderthals were the first people called also the Stone Age people, or the people who worked with stone, flints for cutting and things like that. The dresses that they wore were mostly made of leaves, shrubs, sticks, and even grasses. And in these grasses, if they found something like a crystal somewhere, that was valuable. We do not know whether they even exchange these things for certain purchases, because barter exchange had become a process during the million-year history of mankind. Because there were flint tools, maybe one Neanderthal came along and had a flint tool which was longer, another one had it shorter, and he had 2 or 3 of them in his maybe a leather sack. Another way to refer to a briefcase at that time, a leather sack made of animal leather or maybe even animal fur on it. These later on, from grasses, they went to leathers, animals were killed, they ate the meat, and then they wore these skins, probably with the furs on them, to keep warm during the winter days. Human being has not always been wandering around naked. He somehow never wanted to go around naked. So that is where we see that the beginning of fashion design comes up. Now you'll say that, oh, I'm probably going into history. Well, the whole thing is to catch the subject by the roots. If you're talking about the basics, then you must go first to there, and then you will understand what is fashion design all about. So fashion design has been evolving through the ages, through the centuries, for millions of years, to the 40,000 year mark where the Neanderthals became extinct. Modern man came, modern man wanted to cover himself, then there was the requirements of the weather. It was very cold, it was colder than these days we have. And then probably heat, again another issue. How will you cover? Because there are timings when it's too hot, you have to cover yourself to protect yourself from the sun's rays. Man is not like all the other animals with a system of protection for himself. This subject of fashion design, it takes a lot of its origins and involvements with art, sculpture, design. There was another thing in sculpture became very interesting. Very big sculptures, the monolithic sculptures. We've seen the Easter Islands. We've seen even Stonehenge. We do not know whether they were sculptures or what was it, an altar or what. Still they're theorizing what this really was. These sculptures were known as portable sculptures. A portable sculpture means something which I'm going to wear, carry it around in my pocket maybe for good luck. Like we sometimes carry a lucky horn or an Italian horn. It's a part of the fashion system. As we go further advanced in the subject, we try to make changes in dress designs, our headwear, and even our shoe designs. Our shoes, our dressing makes a statement about who we are. Every human being wants to make a statement. Now the advanced version of dressing is even as far as metal dressing, and that's our cars. We even have a concept of a lot of the fashion designers like to have, or when they are in their photo shoots, auto companies like Mercedes-Benz or BMW or even Bugatti Veyron or other companies will like their car to be with a fashion designer. I mean, with a fashion model. We have seen up to now ladies wearing pendants, rings, bracelets of bangles, anklets, style of shoes, dresses of certain kinds, skirts, long skirts, short skirts. So fashion design is a very varied subject. It's an avant-garde. If you're into avant-garde, that means experimenting with new ideas. Then you will be a successful designer. Some issues pertaining to culture come over there and become very serious sometimes, because certain societies do not prefer to be any dress to be too revealing. So there we go into a proper style of dressing, a rather conservative style of dressing, because there are three basic needs of the human mankind: food, clothing, and shelter. Now the fourth one is transportation, because up to now we only knew it as food, clothing, and shelter, but man's fourth need is transportation. The question again comes up of marketing over there. Price, promotion, place, and product. We call them the 4 Ps, we call them the marketing mix. It works for everything. It's one of the basic marketing tools. We have a system in fashion designing that we should understand. You'll say that I've started teaching marketing over here. Well, it's true. It runs into marketing. Whatever you're wearing, if you're wearing it now, it'll be outdated in a year or two, and a new design will come up. Every product starts up as an introduction. When it's introduced, growth, maturity, late maturity, and then falls into a decline because the tastes are changing, consumer tastes are changing. As with every product, not every product, there are certain products which remain, and they remain for centuries. They have stayed for centuries. But certain products will face a decline after a while, where you will need to use these 4 Ps or the marketing mix. Here you will see that when you're introducing a new brand, most of the fashion products, they are concerned with brands, brand management. We have to know what are we pricing our product at. Who is our targeted audience? Who is our targeted customers? Are they the elite class? Are they the middle class? Or is it for just the ordinary street level person who is not very well to do, probably unemployed? Will he wear this dress? Place, where are you going to put this thing? Are you going to put it in a very top store, or are you going to put it in ordinary stores where the commoner can buy it? Promotion. How are you going to promote it? Which people are going to promote it? Is it going to be for specifically a certain profession? Because certain dresses, like dresses for nurses, doctors, lawyers, teachers, and I hope I haven't forgotten any profession, which and artists, designers, they all have their own styles. So as such, the thing is, where are you going to promote it? And ultimately the product itself. There are some considerations here. What will it be like? What will it look like? Are there any allergic issues? But nowadays it's not the 4 Ps, it's becoming the 5 Ps. The last may be the packaging subject. How are we going to pack it? Many of the dresses, clothes, even jewelry. If I gift someone something, I would probably like it to be packed in a certain way. There are several other marketing tools. There's a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that a certain product faces. There's the Boston box, the BCG matrix, where is our product standing against other products. So with all these considerations, it means that a fashion designer, as much as he learns or she learns art, sculpture, and design, they're going to have to learn management. Without management, we are nowhere. Many fashion designers complain, well, we got our degree, we got our diplomas, we can't get a job. Everywhere they apply, they don't seem to get jobs. What's the reason behind it? A fashion designer must, under all circumstances, arm himself well with 3 particular subjects. One is entrepreneurship, the science and art of running a business. The second is business communications. You'll be communicating a lot. And marketing. So you see where the market is really going. I mean, unless you are a trendsetter, right from trend setting to the brand, you have to see these 3 subjects in between. I mean, I'm not going to rule out accounting. Accounting is very important, that you know exactly activities-based costing or activities-based accounting. How much did you spend on this cloth? How much or the jewelry item? If it's a jewelry item, how much did you spend on it? What are you expecting in return from it? Because naturally you're not making this just for a hobby, but you are making it for professional, for commercial activity. You are being professional. What is the scope of fashion designers in a country like Pakistan? it is going to be, it's a competitive line. This is such a subject. It's highly competitive. You have to go out there with a passion. If you don't have that passion and you're going with just half-heartedly, you're bound to fail. And if you're just going to go and search a job, then again, I'm sorry to say, you'll be very disappointed, because the thing is this, that firstly you have to learn to be passionate, prepare your portfolio, a very good portfolio. You must have your mood boards prepared. The mood board is the most important thing whenever you have to design a car, a dress, a piece of jewelry. I think anything in product design even, you will have to, and fashion design, definitely, textile design, definitely. It's going to be a mood board. A collection, it's more of an assemblage. It's an assemblage. Whenever you are selling something, you're not selling the product. You are selling an emotion. You're selling its qualities. Whenever you're going for fashion design, remember, you have to balance it with very good management knowledge. And you have to study a lot. I'm telling you one thing, that we artists, sculptors, and designers have learned that even after getting our degrees and diplomas, we have had to study a lot.